oh, there's the source of this. Oh, that was a bad breakup. Hello and welcome back to my fellow seekers, and today I am welcoming the lovers. Yes, the lovers. As I started to prepare for this reading today, a lot of strange things started happening. So it started in the shower. I was taking a shower and I started getting these ideas in my head. And I had said that I don't hear voices, and I don't hear other voices. I hear my own voice saying things in my head. I am my own internal narration. And as I was in there, in my head, I am hearing a message for pile number 2. I have not even made the piles yet. How is that possible? How am I getting a message? But remember I said, energy is no respecter of time and space. So I got a message very specifically for pile number 2. And so even though I have not put the piles out yet, just know that there's something really special for you folks who are going to end up picking number 2. Now, I don't want you to pick number 2 because you think that, well, I got to find out what that special message is. Just watch it so you can hear what the number 2 folks are told. And then as I was getting ready and preparing, the other funny thing that happened, don't worry, I'm going to tell you in a minute, I'm going to tell you why you need to get some red underwear ready for New Year's Eve. I dropped Jen's cards and it landed with this one face up. It's a VW bug. Simply love and rejoice. You are never alone. We travel with you today and every day. So if you are coming to this reading feeling lonely and alone at this time when everybody is talking about gatherings and family and getting presents for each other and parties, and sometimes even in all of those gatherings, it's so easy for us to feel alone. Remember that you are not. Simply love and rejoice where you are right now. And that's how love finds us. By us being in a good place, feeling the warmth, the love, and the goodness of where we are right now, of the knowing that we are never alone, and the knowing that the souls that are meant to bond with ours, and I believe we have multiple soul pairings that come up in life, that they're already with us, and they always will be, because time and space doesn't mean anything. So I thought that was beautiful that came up. So as we start to create our 4 piles, I am going to tell you the tale of why you should wear red panties on New Year's Eve, or red jockey shorts, or, boxer briefs if you can find them. So this is going back a long time now. I was working and I had a friend who was from Panama. Ricardo was telling me all of these funky traditions that Panamanian folks do for New Year's. And one of them was, if you want to travel in the following year, in the new year, you should pack your suitcase and at midnight go out your front door carrying your suitcase. Swear to God. So let me start our piles here. So 1, 2, lucky pile number 2, 4. So, and then the other one was, if you want to find love in the new year, you should wear red panties. Now, I thought that was oddly specific, yet adorable and wonderful, and but I had no intention of doing it. New Year's Eve, I go down to my mailbox, I get my mail. There's a package from Ricardo. I think you know where this is going. And the package from Ricardo, it's like a little bubble wrap envelope. I'm like, why would she mail something to me? How random and weird. I open it up right there in the mail room. Probably shouldn't have done that. Thank God nobody was around. And it was a pair of red panties, red lace panties. So I'm sitting in my apartment alone that New Year's Eve, and I didn't want to go to any parties. I just really wasn't feeling it. I'm looking at these stupid panties, right? As we're gonna call them, the stupid panties. I'm looking at the stupid panties, and I was like, what the heck? So while I'm watching Dick Clark, I pull myself into these size small tiny panties. I swear they barely made it up one leg. But no, I did get them on. It was very uncomfortable. But I figured I'm going to take them off right after midnight. And I wore the red panties. No love materialized. You're like, well, this is not a good story. Until October 28th. I had gotten myself on Match.com. And on October 28th, I connected with a man. And then as we were trying to figure out what day to go out and to finally meet each other, we went back and forth with different days. And he said, how about Monday, November 2nd? And we've been together for 25 years, married for 22. Red panties, folks. So if you're looking for love, it can't hurt to wear red underwear, right? Now, let's start this reading. So I hope you have all been getting yourselves into the right frame of mind. I have spent my whole morning communing with Eros and Pan. Pan was a surprise to me, but okay. So I hope you are now really tuning in to your energy and your desire, if you have the desire to meet someone. But whatever it is you're looking for in the world of love and romance and relationships, that's what we are going to be looking at today. So let's start with pile number 1. So our oracle card from Jen. Oh, it's a little fox. And it says, when you get curious and vulnerable, you step back into alignment. So my number 1s, I think maybe you have been closed off a lot lately. And in general, when it comes to romance, I think you've been bitten before. And so you are very hesitant to get back out there. But being curious and letting yourself be vulnerable helps you to step back into alignment with the energies that will make you a good partner, that will make you a good soul to connect to. You'll be in the right frame of mind and frame of soul. If this year you let your guard down, you get curious, maybe try different things, maybe different types of people, we'll dig into that more, and you let yourself be vulnerable to somebody. And that's going to be the hardest part for my number 1s. Vulnerability is not something you guys are doing well. So, let's see. Oh, the Hierophant. So, it's all about being alone, isn't it? It's about being the lead loner. So I think that you do have a lot of good friends who are also not coupled. Some are happily uncoupled. Many are looking for love but having trouble finding it. And it's almost like you are kind of the head of this group of people. And your status of being okay with it is something that you believe gives you power and strength, is that you are powerful and strong in your aloneness. And that's true. We are all powerful and strong when we're alone. That is an honest to God truth. It really is. But it's not all you were meant to be. So you are using this mantle of being the lead, alone, uncoupled, unjoined person in your friend group, no, it's definitely in a friend group. It's not family or work. It's definitely in a friend group. Everybody just thinks that you're so okay and happy with it. And it's not that you're not, but also you're not. You would like to not have to carry the burden alone. The burden is getting heavy. The burden of being alive is getting heavy for you. The burden the aloneness is starting to feel burdensome. You had a long period of time where you were thriving and exploring I feel like maybe traveling alone or traveling with groups of friends. You've really relished the freedom of the aloneness, but now you're starting to feel like you want something else. You're starting to feel like you want somebody to Netflix and chill with. And by that I really mean Netflix and chill. You really want that. You don't want the hookups, you want the relationship. You want the joining. And it's going to be a little bit hard for you as we go into the first part of the year, because you're still very much clinging on to that I'm okay being alone energy and identity, because you're almost afraid that letting that guard down, letting yourself get vulnerable and admit that you don't like being alone, you're worried that actually sends the wrong message out to the universe, that then you're going to put out desperate vibes. And I think in your younger years, you were kind of a desperate person. I know I've been a desperate person. I have been at times in my life desperate for love, and that energy also doesn't work well for us. And I think you've been there and you're afraid of going back there. You're afraid that becoming vulnerable means becoming desperate, that it's going to make you clingy when the right person comes along, that if you're too vulnerable and too open, that you're going to scare them off. And the right person, when the right person comes, exactly what they need you to do is be vulnerable to them, to trust them. I believe trust in relationships is very, very hard for you. There's been some betrayal in relationships. I think even going back into your family life, like maybe your parents, maybe you had an unfaithful parent or someone like that in your life that really kind of made you doubt fidelity. And so And then you experienced infidelity. And so also you have also participated in infidelity in some way. So either having an emotional relationship with someone who was attached. I feel it's more that. I feel it's more getting emotionally involved with someone who was not yours, and that someone belonged to somebody else. And that is a source of shame for you, also a source of heartbreak, because you feel like that person could have been the person if the timing had just been different. So there's a lot of things that lead you to feel like fidelity is not possible. So there's that going on. Yeah, so I definitely feel like that is in your head a lot. And that part of the reason that you are so happy in your aloneness, I say happy, quote unquote, happy in your aloneness, comfortable in your aloneness, is because you can't get hurt that way. At least that's what you think. Not so true. So let's take a look at the past. Oh, there's the source of this. Oh, that was a bad breakup. Oh, that was a very, very, very bad. Oh, sweetie. Okay. Oh, that's ugly. That was ugly. I'm sorry you had to go through that. That was just a big old mess of people getting involved. It had nothing to do with them. Everybody's got to weigh in and stick their nose in it. And it's very public and visible and embarrassing and betrayal, even in terms of people picking sides in the breakup, and that always hurts so much. It's like, why are you even doing that to me? And that was just so hard. And you've seen that type of pattern and energy happen repeatedly in your life. So going again, like I want to say that there was a nasty divorce in your childhood maybe, and that, that traumatized you. Then, you had your share of blah, 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 little breakups here and there. But then there was the biggin, And after that, you were like, nope, don't need that. That is energy and stuff going on in my life that I don't need. I need to focus on me. Like, I almost feel like this happened during a period of education, whether it was high school or college, but you were a little bit older. So maybe later in high school. I feel like more college, but it's just, you were pretty mature when it happened in terms of where you were at in the relationship. And the person you were in the relationship with was not as mature and sort of evolved as you were. And that's why when it fell apart, it went spectacularly scorched earth bad. And you even got pulled into it. That is not normally how you behave, but things got so messy and so ugly that it brought out an ugly side of you that you did not think you possessed, but it is the energy and behavior of one of your parents. Am I doing my own reading right now? It's kind of funny because I'm like, wait a minute, is that me? No, there's other people out there. But I do understand. I understand the vibe that I'm getting. I understand how you could make those choices. Some people, when confronted with the horrible parental breakup and then the just catastrophic personal ending to a relationship, it just like, you know what? No, I'm better off alone. I'm just gonna do me. I'm gonna do me, and I'm better off that way. But really, you're not, and you know you're not. You know you're not. And I think that you start to thaw out actually in the first few months of the year, so that when spring comes, you are going to be fertile ground for changes to happen in your life. So let's take a look at the future. The Chariot. The Chariot. Now there's something really important I want you to hear right now. Okay? Listen up. Write it down. You are strong when you are alone. You are strong when you're in a relationship. You're strong either way. But for you, there is a multiplicative strength, not even sure if that's a word, an exponential strength. Basically, the sum is more, the whole, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. The whole is more than the sum of its parts. When you do partner up with someone, when you do let your guard down and you're vulnerable and you're curious, you open your heart to a kind of person that you would not normally even look at. That's what the curiosity is about. It's about a person, a type of person, a location. You're going to meet them in a place that you wouldn't even normally go, and certainly wouldn't think that this is where you're going to meet the love of your life. But if you keep your eyes open, if you keep your mind open, if you keep your heart open and you're curious about the people around you, that's where your person is. And when you find that person, you're going to see that I was great on my own. I am even greater when combined with this person. But you have to be willing to be curious and vulnerable. You have to keep the past in the past. Don't map the behaviors of these people onto this new person, because I'm telling you right now, this new person is from a world that is not your usual world, not your usual group of friends or place. You're going to meet them in a really weird place, like a place that you don't normally go. And so it's a person who you don't know this kind of person. It's a whole new kind of person for you. And at first that's going to be weird and you're going to be a little put off by it. But be open to it. Be open to it, because this is the yin to your yang. This is the light to your darkness, actually. Yes. And I feel like they almost seem a little frivolous or flippant. And at first that also kind of puts you off, because that to you reads as someone who isn't strong, but this person is actually a deeply grounded person, and they are a person who is so well grounded, so confident in their personhood that they can be completely ridiculous and silly, completely, like I said, flippant and jokey, and it looks like they don't take anything seriously because they know that nothing matters and everything is important. Or nothing is important and everything matters. Those two statements always crack me up because they're both the same statement with the words flipped around, and they're both true because that's how life is. Life is about duality. And by the way, I don't mean that to say that relationships are only two people. Relationships can be as many people as it makes sense for the people involved. Absolutely. Absolutely. There are friendships that are so deep between multiple people that those friendships endure for decades. Lifelong friendships. Those are a merging of souls. Even if there's no physical intimacy between those friends, there is a depth in some friendships that endures forever. And that is another way to join your soul. But we're talking about the romantic love kind of thing. But I just wanted to be clear. You can also have romantic love relationships with multiple people at once. Multiple people can all be involved in a romantic love relationship with each other. It isn't always a binary 1 and 2 situation. That is coming. 8 of Wands. Love card. It's all about the love. And it's about the love you put out there. And it's about the love that you're willing to give and put forth in a direction that you don't normally give love and attention to. And I think that brings us back to this idea that you're going to meet this person in an unusual place. The thing that I'm thinking of, and this may resonate, I'm going to say it because I feel like I have to say it because it resonates with one of you who is in pile number 1. I almost feel like the person that you're going to find is like a nerd. And I say that with love and affection because I am a geeky, nerdy person to my core. And I feel like pile number 1, that's not necessarily you. But the person that is out there waiting for you, that you're going to find, going to meet them kind of late spring. And, you know, if you do the work on yourself and you get curious and you get vulnerable and you let yourself open up to different kinds of people, different groups of people. Like, it's almost like you get invited to a party at like a Yestercade's arcade or something like that, or to go play laser tag, or to go LARPing, or go to a Renfest, but that wouldn't happen in the spring. But something different than you usually do, and you meet up with this person who just is just someone that maybe in high school you would have actually laughed about. And you discover this wealth of beauty and depth and just exactly what you need and want in a partner. You find in this person, and it absolutely just blows your mind. Absolutely blows your mind. Because the person that is right for you, folks in pile number 1, the type of person that is right for you is not the person you've been looking for. You've been looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for love in all the wrong people. You need to look at the meek. That is what just came into my head. The meek. And so what I'm feeling like, the folks in pile 1 who are strong-willed, just strong personalities, you often, the quiet, softer people, you tend to discount or not even look at. And you find other people like you who are fiery and powerful and just, you know, got some oomph to them. Those are the people that you keep gravitating towards. But that's actually the worst kind of energy for you. It's going to bring out the worst in you. Whereas if you find someone who is curious and vulnerable already, and you have begun to make yourself curious and vulnerable, the two of you are going to have a great time together. And, oh yeah. So the Four of Cups, again, the unexpected. You're busy looking at this. You're busy just chilling. I'm good being alone. I'm not looking around. And then unexpectedly, from this unusual place, you're going to find this person. And it's absolutely beautiful. So now I want to also pull 3 cards on top of this for the queer folks, particularly who identified with pile number 1. And I feel like doing this, first of all, because, well, both Pan and Eros, it kind of felt like it would be a good idea to do. Pan in particular is telling me that there are some gay men in pile number 1 who really need me to pull these cards. So I'm not discounting any other queer people in pile 1, but specifically I was just very clearly told there's some gay men who need to see these 3 cards. Okay, sure. And this is the weirdest thing, because I have not felt this kind of guidance from the gods, the deities, the energy, the spirit guides, the other side, whatever you want to call them. I have not felt this since I was in my 20s and I worked as a reader in an occult shop. And I left it behind, and as soon as I decided to do this, it all started coming back. Even the preparing for the ritual, like getting the items that I needed, like, so strange. All right, here's our 3 cards. Am I cutting the cards? No, I'm not cutting the cards? Okay. All right. 9 of Cups is our first card. 9 of Cups. So again, specifically for the queer folks, but not only, I mean, this applies to everyone, but specifically speaking to you, when I talked about in the beginning, the Hierophant, you are the person who is kind of the leader of your group. And again, this very much solidifies this. And people look at you, other queer people look at you, and they feel very much like you've got it together, you have got this going on, and they think that you're good with it. They think that you're good with it, and because of that, because you look so good, you look like you got this going on, because of this, people are not introducing you to people. People aren't even trying to fix you up anymore because you don't need it, but you do. Because this place that you're going to meet, this unlikely person, it is because someone around you invites you to the thing that doesn't seem like it would be your thing. But you want to put it out there. You want it to be known to your friends. You know what? I'm looking this year. Then they are going to start inviting you and including you in different things, and that's how you're going to find your person. The Knight of Cups. Okay. So this guy comes stumbling into your life. I feel like this is a gawky, awkward human being. And they are just gawky and awkward, but they own it. They absolutely own this. And they're so comfortable in their gawky awkwardness. And they're not fabulous, and they're not fit, and there are a lot of things that you think that you don't want. They don't fit the profile of the person that you are usually looking for, and they're fine with that. They are so okay with who they are, but I feel like they almost stumble into you, like you're gonna know that this is the person. If you keep your eyes open, if you remember, if spring comes and you're somewhere weird and a guy trips and falls in front of you or bangs into you or spills something on you, makes you spill something awkward, you're not even going to know the guy is gay. you're just it's gonna be like, what the hell, what, who, yeah, what? Remember to laugh. Remember to notice the person. To notice him. Because trust me, he noticed you. That little stumble and fall thing, that might not have been a complete accident, is all I'm saying. The Knight of Pentacles. So getting a little bit clearer on this, getting someone younger than you, definitely younger in age, not younger in having been out. As a matter of fact, I feel like this person was never in the closet. This person is young enough to have just always been able to be themselves. And they do have the acceptance of the people around them. And so they're in a really good place with that. But they're definitely younger than you. There's a playful, young energy. I'm getting, only because this card has dark hair, but usually when I think pentacles, I think dark hair. So I'm thinking dark hair. I'm thinking messy, untamed pile of dark, semi-wavy. It's not curly. It like wants to be curly, and it could be curly if this person would just try using some product, but it's like, we're lucky they washed it. So it's wash and go. It's a wash and go kind of thing with this person. Yeah, so be looking for the messy-haired, dark-haired guy who like trips, stumbles, falls, stutters, makes an ass out of themselves. That's your Prince Charming. Yay! So that is group number 1, and I think that is really cool. I really, really like that. I'm very excited for group number 1. Okay, are we ready? We're finally gonna do pile number 2. Now, I hope that you didn't pick pile number 2 because you want to know what that special message is that I got in the shower. I hope it's the one that you vibed with, that you're really feeling it, because we're just gonna jump right to the message that I got in the shower for everybody in pile number 2. Are you ready? Are you ready? Have you considered looking for love or being open to love and relationship and connection with a different gender? The message that Pan gave me for the people in pile number 2 is that love is not binary. Attraction is not binary. Especially for you, it does not need to be found in a binary construct. That there is fun and relationships and enriching relationships for you to be had with people and genders that you have not been open to before. And so you might be a straight person, but it is possible for you to find love with a gay person, with a bi person, with a pan person, with a trans person. That you, or a non-binary person, you are making your particular pool too small. Ooh, look, I do a little heart. Your pool is too small. And that was the message. So there's somebody in pile number 2 who is already confused because they are feeling a pull towards a specific person who is not the gender identity that they thought they wanted to be with. And it's very confusing for you. And you're very, very hesitant because of it. because you know your sexuality. But here's the thing. Sexuality and love, they don't always line up the way you think they will. It's possible, because love is about souls. Love is about our spirits. And sometimes you love who you love, and it's not even who you expected it to be. So it's not the only message from pile number 2, but there was specifically somebody out there who is kind of, let's have some pink champagne and drink to that. There's somebody out there who is weirded out a little bit by some feelings that they're having for someone. And the message from Pan was, go for it. Go for it, because you're missing out on something wonderful and fun. Definitely fun. I don't think Pan is telling me that this is your person for life. But Pan is encouraging you to go for it. And because it is going to open, it's going to be fun. It's just going to be freaking fun. There, I said it. Okay. Pile number 2, Oracle card. Jen Kupcho Oracle card. I love these cards. Your angels and gods cannot tread where they are not invited. Invite them in. Show them your light, and they will match your brightness. I couldn't read that. It's interesting. Show them your light and they will match your brightness. But I said, show them your light and they will, I said, catch your brightness. That's the first thing I said, right? It's interesting. I think that your angels and guides are not the only ones that you need to invite in to see your light. I think you dim your light, and specifically pile number 2, you dim your light for someone. People in pile number 2. There's a bunch of you in here. You are in a relationship where you are dimming your light so that your partner can shine. You are doing them no favors. Obviously that hurts you, but you are not helping them. Now, they don't like you to shine. You know that they like to be the star of the show. You know that, and you do it. You do it for them. But your natural light, your abilities, your personality, your sparkling personality, your mental acuity and intelligence, your amazing conversational skills, you're dumbing that all down for someone. Stop it. Stop it. Never dim your light for someone else. That is not the way to have a good relationship or a happy relationship, because you might be okay with it now, but if you stay in that relationship long term, you will build up resentment. You will, because that light will turn inside of you. It will, because you're not letting it out. And your guides can't find you. They can't find you because you're dimming your light. And the true love of your life can't find you. Okay, here we go. Pile number 2, the High Priestess. You are, my number 2s, you're sexual beings. You got it going on. You got it going on. And I think that those of you who are currently in a relationship, those of you who are in the relationship where you are dimming your light for someone, one of the reasons you stay in that relationship is it's a good physical relationship for you. This relationship is meeting your needs physically. And your physical needs are pretty intense sometimes. And I feel like my number 2s are definitely really in tune with their sexual nature. That's important to you in a relationship. And it's so important to you in a relationship that you're willing to put up with this dumbing down of yourself. It's not even dimming, dumbing down of yourself in so many ways. 2s, you are giving up your power to someone else because the sex is good. Here's the thing. The sex is good because you're good at it. You are good at it. And with the right partner, it's going to be mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Because you are going to find a way, if you open yourself up this year, if you let go of this dimming person, and my frustration is I feel my twos, as I'm saying this, you are digging your claws into this relationship. Because because people around you have said, why do you stay with this guy? There are people who have said that to you. Why are you not listening to them? And I feel like you want true love. You want a relationship. You want marriage. You want a partnership. And you've been with this jackass for a really long time. And you are wasting your time. And while you're wasting your time, your essence is just draining away into this person. And you're getting more dim and dim and dim. And you don't feel good, but you don't want to let go of this. You're like, nope, I am not in pile number 2. Oh, no, I listened to pile number, oh my gosh. There's a whole bunch of you who picked pile number 2 to find out what the message was. There's a whole bunch of you that are only listening to pile number 2 because you want to know what the message is. At least that's why you think you're listening to pile number 2. Ha ha! That's how God lured you into pile number 2. To tell you something that you don't want to hear. You do not want to hear that your current relationship is not the relationship you're supposed to be in. And we, as I suddenly become the royal we are not the only ones to ever tell you this. Lots of people tell you this. Your mother tells you this all the time. I feel like she's not a big fan of the current relationship. And for guys in relationships with women who are in pile number 2, you have got a prima donna on your hands and you think that she's worth it. She's worth it, Melissa. You don't understand. I can't believe I got a girl like this. That's what the guys in this situation are like. I can't believe I got a girl like this. For the guys in this situation, yeah, the sex is good. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. She's pretty good. It's good. It's good. Yeah, we're rocking it. I like it. But you're also kind of like, I can't believe I got her. Like, you feel like you don't deserve her. The girls out there, so the female energy that I'm getting in your relationship, you do feel worthy of this person. You do. Because that's the vibe I'm getting from you. You feel worthy of them, but you think they're really awesome. But they're really not, because you have to keep making yourself small to make that person feel big. And so the energies, the male and female energies, the light and the dark, the Chokmah and the Bina, for relationships to work, there needs to be a balance of energies. And that does not mean that it needs to be male and female, binary. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you need to be in a relationship with a person who can balance you, with you. Because the way life works, and the way I'm married 22 years with my husband for 25, and I can tell you this. Relationships that work, when you're down, they're up. And they pull you up, okay? Right? When you're down, they don't kick you. When you're down, they don't let you stay there very long, but they let you stay there long enough. Long enough. There will be times when you're both running at the same octane, as my husband would say, and you're running side by side, and it's beautiful. It's really, that feels really good. Trust me. But then one of you trips and falls. Well, the other one doesn't keep going. The other one stops. The other one says, "You all right?" And you might say, "Go ahead." But not because you're dimming yourself. Because no, I've got what it takes to pull myself back up. I'm good. Keep running. And then sometimes they stop and you're lying there bleeding, and they're like, do you need help? Yeah, I got you, babe. And you're like, oh my God, hold me. And they need to just get off their track for a little bit and hold you. And they will do that. People who love you will do that. People who love you will never ask you to dim your light for them. Well, he doesn't ask me to do that. Doesn't he, though? Let's be honest here. I'm making the sound. You know, it's the sound that your aunt makes. Really? Justice. Again, interesting. Another card about balance for pile number 2. Interesting. Interesting. Justice. Now, this is in the past. So I feel like the situation for my number 2s is that your examples of what good relationships look like a super balanced marriage of equals, harmony. When you look at the examples of love and relationships around you, you see people who really, they seem to be really good partners. They really look like good partners to you, and like that's what a relationship would look like. That's what it should look like. Open yourself up to the truth, to the guides of the truest, highest compassion. You will realize that the example that you're using for the perfect relationship is not actually a perfect relationship. It is a relationship where one of the people in the relationship has allowed themselves to be dimmed so that they are in the same place as their partner. And you think that's what love is. Love is letting my partner shine. That's what you think love is. Love is letting your partner shine when it's their time to shine. Love is you shining when it's your time to shine. Love is shining together. Love is going into the darkness together. Love is one of you in the darkness and one of you shining a light to help pull the other out. Love is all of those things. Love is being stuck in twilight for a while together and just being in that, being a little lost, being disconnected, things being a little dim all over the place, but you're still there for each other. Love really is about balance with someone, and the relationship that you were using, I feel like for somebody it's their grandparents, and you idolize your grandparents' relationship, and I think it's the grandpa who has actually been the brunt of the dimming, is what I'm getting. I'm getting this really nice grandpa energy, and he's a guy that 30, 40 years ago, maybe 50 years ago, felt like, I can't believe I got a girl like that. I can't believe a girl like this loves me. And no matter what, his whole life has been about keeping her. And if that meant sacrificing his own identity, his own wants and needs, his own light, if he sacrificed his life to let her shine, he's okay with that. And you look at it and you're like, but Grandpa's happy. Grandpa's happy. I don't know. Is Grandpa really happy? I don't know. I think not. I think he's not happy in the way that you could be if you really open yourself up to finding an equal partner. That's what I'm getting. Again, the world, right? You've got the wheel of life. What comes up must go down, and round we go. Balance, sharing. That's what it's all about. It's about the quid pro quo, Clarice. But seriously, It is about balancing the energies with each other. That's how you become a whole. That's how you become the world together, is you balance each other out and you support each other. And that is one of, to me, that is the cornerstone of my marriage, is that we are there for each other. Always. And neither one of us ever has to dim ourselves for the other. We're there for each other, and you can have that, and you will have that. Number twos, you will have that, but you've got some work to do in this relationship. I want to be clear: the relationship that you're in right now cannot become this relationship. You're gonna try and work it out, though. You're like I said, you guys are digging in. I feel the claws. They're digging in. You're like, nah, you're like my cat falling off something, right? You are not willing to let go. And of course, you have to let go before this relationship can make itself known. And so I feel like you're going to keep trying to make this relationship and others like it work. Now, some of you are going to get out of this relationship by the end of the year. So we're talking like a year from now, right? I mean, it took me a year, November 2nd, right? That's when I met my husband. I put those panties on December 31st, damn it. I actually forgot about the panties, by the way. And then when I was moving, in the following year, in 1999, I was moving and I was packing things up, and I found the panties, and I was like, oh, it worked! Oh my God! So, that's why I like for people to take notes when they're listening to readings, because you'll forget. And then you won't realize that it came true. So towards the end of the year, those of you who are able to break out of this fake balance relationship where you keep trying to make balance in a relationship, that's the thing. Good relationships, everybody says good relationships take work. I don't know that is exactly the right way to phrase that. Good relationships work. They just do. And yes, you have to be considerate. And I guess it does take some effort, but I think a lot of people think relationships have to be a lot of work. And so that's why they think they're in a good one, because they work so hard at it, but you shouldn't have to work as hard as you're working. You absolutely should not feel like you have to work this hard at all. The Queen of Cups. This is you. This is you. With all your heart and all of your light and all of your love and all of your you. And you've got so much you to give. So much. But you just keep putting it in the one place. You're not putting it out there. And if you are in this relationship, if you are in the dimming your light relationship, and you are trying to conceive, you are making it harder to conceive than it should be for you. Because it's not the right situation. It's not, the relationship itself is not fertile ground for bringing new love, new life into existence. And it's so much harder and complicated than it has to be. And that's because the energies around you aren't in alignment to bring new life into the world. And if you were in a different kind of relationship, a truly balanced relationship where the energies were balanced, then conception would be easier for you. Bringing a child into your life, a child coming into your life in some way would be easier than it is right now. The Magician. Boy, you really are the loner, but not. you're making all the magic in the relationship. But you really do work hard on this, don't you? And people look at it and they think you guys have a really good relationship because you're so good at it. You really are good at this. But that part of, you know, that magic, the physical magic is good. That is, and that again, that's an important thing to you. It's also like, if we didn't belong together, why would we be so good together physically if our energies weren't right together? I don't understand what you're saying, Melissa. But the fact that you're watching a tarot card reading with love predictions for 2023 makes me wonder, makes me question, makes me think that you already know that you're not in the ideal relationship. I think you already know. And as I said, I think people keep telling you that, and you're like, no, that's not true. So now for my queer friends in pile number 2, let's see what we got going on here. Card number 1, that's fascinating because that's the Magician, but in French. There you go. Again, you look like so, it's a relationship that looks so good. You guys look good together. You've got like good chemistry together, but chemistry and energy are not always the same thing. And you are doing a lot of the work to make this relationship look as good as it looks and to make it work as well as it does. 'Cause I'm not saying you're unhappy. You're not. You just think you're happy, but you're really not. The Page of Wands. You've got a younger sibling who is about to enter into a relationship similar to the relationship you are in. And seeing this younger sibling enter into this relationship and start to dim their light for the person that they are in a relationship with is really going to bring this home to you. And I think this happens like late winter, like as things start to thaw, you know, like the wet, nasty part of spring where it's cold, but it's spring. There's crocuses, but there's slush. This young sibling person in your life, either physically a sibling or just metaphorically a sibling, but it's a young brother or sister in your life or person, and they get into a relationship and you see what they're doing, and then you're over there trying to tell them that they don't need to do that, and then you're like, oh my God, this is exactly what the lady on YouTube was telling me I'm doing. Oh my God, I'm doing it. Oh God. And that's what helps you to get out, is seeing it play out in front of you with someone that you love and that you feel responsibility for in shepherding them, in helping them grow up somehow, like not a child of yours, but a younger person. That's why I get the sibling energy. It's like you're like a mentor of some kind to this person, and you see them get into a relationship where they're doing what you're doing, and they think they're happy because they're so happy, and you realize what they're doing, and then you're able to see it in yourself. Our third card, the Four of Swords. I think that you already know everything I've just told you. You know it. You know this is true. You know it's about you. You know it. It's the thing that you're afraid of. It's the thing that worries you at night when you can't sleep. Am I really as happy as I think I am? Is it me? Is it me? Something's off. Is it me? Is it me? Well, it's not you, but it is you, because the person, here's, I want to be clear. The person is not asking you to dim your light. You're doing it. And they do want a partner who does that, but they don't even realize it. They don't realize what happens in those moments when you outshine them and they get a little pissy and they get a little sulky, you know, they get a little, I want to leave this stupid party. And you're having a great time. And you're like, why do you want to leave this? This party's great. And they're like, nah, I'm not feeling the vibe. They want to leave this club. They don't like this restaurant. They don't want to hang out with these people. And you're like, well, I thought I was having a good time, but okay, yeah, sweetie, if you want to go, we'll go, right? Because you don't want your partner to be unhappy. But you were actually having a good time. And then you go home. You guys have some good times. Partner falls asleep. You're laying there. You replay the evening in your head, and you're like, what just happened there? Something doesn't feel right about the way this went right now. And it kind of like in the back of your head, like skittering. Ooh, hate skittering. We don't like things that skitter, and it's skittering around in your head. You know, my queer folks, but my queer folks in particular, you know that this is not the way it's supposed to be. You know it. So number 2, the sooner you start shining your light, the sooner that you invite in the light, as soon as you invite into your life this person, the person who is all that and a bag of chips. Really though, really all that and a bag of chips. That person who balances you, who puts you first, but you put them first. So you're both putting each other first. It's I can't tell you how amazing it is. Like, I sometimes cry about how lucky and blessed I am to be in the marriage that I'm in, because I never thought this was possible for me. My examples growing up were not conducive to having a great relationship. But somehow, after many, many mistakes, I made it work. And you will too. You will find the right person, number 2s. Very much messages from Eros in this pile. I feel like Pan was dominant there, but definitely Eros. Okay. When you lead with passion, you will always live your purpose. Now, normally, this is a different kind of passion. But in your case, folks on pile number 3, I know what that sign is. My folks on number, look at this. Do you see how like yoni and phallus this is? The triangle and the arrow? Yep. So, when you lead with passion, you will always live your purpose. For the folks in pile number 3, you are fiery in it. You know? No, you're not fiery. You're warm. You're warm water. You're bubble bath. What? I'm getting a bubble bath feeling. And bubble baths do feel good. Bubble baths are very conducive to passion. Interesting. So you are more of my water people. And so I think my folks in number 3, 2023 is going to be a very romantic year for you. And I think that's interesting because quite a few of you in pile number 3 don't think that that's possible, also there are some folks in pile number 3 who are in relationships that feel like the thrill is gone. You know, you feel like you've lost that loving feeling. Pile number 3, it's still there. It's not dead. It's not dead, Jim. It's there. It is very, very much alive and well, but you need to tend that garden. When you lead with the passion, you will find and live your purpose. So you need to put a little effort into the romance, my folks on pile number 3. The King of Cups. You have so much love and affection to give. You're a hugger. You're a very huggy, physical person. You like to touch your friends. You like to, slap them on the back, or maybe you're more of just like a gentle hugger person. But I definitely get a feeling that my number 3 folks are touchy. You're touchy-feely people. You're very tactile. You like rich fabrics that like have some flow and silky to them, kind of plush and just sumptuous. That's the word. You like the sumptuous things. So it's in you. The passion is in you. It is part of who you are. And for those of you who are, my number 3 is not in a relationship, it's very hard for you because there is a lot of passion energy. And it's very easy to get kind of bummed out when you're super horny and you got nowhere to go. Yeah. But God, this is awkward. I'm going to have to put like an age warning on this. Age warning. Just because you're alone doesn't mean they can't lead with passion. And what does that mean for my 3s? You want to bring into your life someone who can match you in this area, someone who has got that right energy. Wow, that's some strong energy. And in order, and I think you've been alone for a while. So, sometimes that energy, just out of self-preservation, it will kind of cool down a little bit when you're single, if you've been single for a long time. But to bring and attract the right person into your orbit, and this person is out there for you, and if you just spice it up a little bit inside of you and spice it up when you are putting yourself out there into the world, if you lead with that passionate side of yourself, you are, it's gonna be a good, I wish I was in pile number 3. I'm asexual, that's so weird. But no, number 3s, it's gonna be a fun year. It's going to be a good year, pile number 3. Now, I am not sensing like a long-term relationship entering into your lives, but damn, it's going to be a fun one. It's not a short relationship, but I also don't feel like this is your soulmate forever, but I think you are soulmates for a good time, and that is not a bad thing. That is definitely not a bad thing. When you can find a person to be in a relationship with where everything is working for what you need it to be, it's good. It's very life-affirming. There's nothing wrong with having a really fun physical relationship with someone. And this is going to be a lot of fun, but you need to, the words that came into my head was unbutton another button. Hike up the skirt a little bit. Guys, wear those pants a size smaller than you usually do. You know, put yourself out there. Give the girls the gun show. Give the guys the gun show. Just display your wares a little more than you usually do. Do it knowingly. Do it with a wink. Do it with confidence. And man, it's going to be good. It is going to be really, really good. Ooh, number 3. Oh, please. You are going to be fighting them off, okay? And I think that you have been in this situation before, and it's been confusing and stressful for you. And that is why maybe you've closed the shop a little bit. Because I think there's a group of people, okay, really coming in right now for the past. There are people in pile number 3 who have had who have sexual trauma in their past. And when you have sexual trauma in your past, sometimes it is very hard to connect the dots to your healthy sexuality. It gets very confusing. And you need a partner. And I think this is who you're looking for. And I feel like for those of you who really just vibed with that sexual trauma in the past, and I don't feel like this is childhood sexual trauma. I think this is from when you first became a sexual being, an age where sexual maturity was happening. And I think you did get a lot of attention. And some of that attention went in directions and in places that you were not comfortable with. And so unbutton that top button and hike up that skirt. Are you kidding me? Is this lady nuts? It's hard. It is very hard to embrace the sexual person that you are when there's also been sexual trauma in your life. But it is very, very healing. It doesn't have to determine the rest of your life. And so the attention, I want to say you are more mature now. You are more grounded now. You've had enough experiences and moments of feeling safe and secure and powerful in your sexuality. You've had glimmers of that. You can handle it this time. You can handle it. You can handle the attention. If you kind of let that genie out of the bottle, so to speak, and you put yourself out there in that way, you're going to be okay. It's not going to happen again, okay? And you are going to have so much fun. So much fun. Because it is just a joyful, it's a very life-affirming, very, very physical life-affirming thing, sex. And it's very grounding because it is of the physical, but there's also a spiritual, but it's okay. It is okay to have sex that is not spiritual. Just want you to know that. It doesn't always have to be a sacrament. Doesn't always have to be an earth-shattering, mind-opening experience. It can just be mind-blowing. And that's good too. That's all good. So I think my number 3s, you got some working out to do. And this is your fear. This is your fear. Right here. You're afraid that the future looks like this. Knives over the bed. Melissa, if I do this, I'm going to end up here again. You only end up feeling shame and guilt again if you let yourself fall back into old belief systems. There are going to be people in your close orbit who see you start to express your sexuality. Many of them are going to be seeing this side of you for the first time, and they're not going to like it. It's not okay. There are going to be people in your life that bring up your past. There are people who know, like I feel like maybe there was a situation in college where maybe things got out of control and you were hurt and you carry that with you. And when you start kind of sexing it up a little bit, it's the only way I know how to put it, then they're gonna try to say like, ho, 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 wait a second, ho, ho, ho. Did I just really say ho, ho, ho? Wow. Yeah, ho. And they're gonna try to shame you, and they're going to try to put your genie back in the box by reminding you of the trauma that you went through. And if you let them, then at the end of the year, as the sun goes away, so we're talking October, November, December. I feel like more like October, November, but you start to let the guilt and the shame creep in. You start to associate your free agency, your self-actualized sexual self. You start to feel shame about that because you're letting the people around you. And I actually feel like you're going to meet someone who you think you can be that way with. I feel like this is like a summertime thing. Like you meet somebody at like a summer type party or a summer place. It's hot weather. It's hot weather. Oh my gosh, it's hot weather. It's a sultry day. You're really feeling yourself. You feel good. You are feeling good about you. You spy someone that you're like, oh yeah, hello, okay? And you are feeling it. And you lead with your passion because you've been doing that this year and it's been working out for you. It's been working good. And so you're at this summer party and you know, the drinks are flowing. It's fun. Everybody's kind of, you know, not got a lot of clothes because it's hot and it's good. You know, it's like a copper tone moment. And you meet this person and you're leading with passion, and this person kind of shuts you down in a way that they're shaming you for being that way. And that immediately sends you back in time. And that's how you end up here. Someone to whom you were willing to give that energy, you misjudged the situation, they shut you down, and you immediately feel shame. So my advice here is, if you're at a party this summer and you're feeling really, really good about yourself, and you see somebody that you're like, oh, that looks like that would be fun, and you put yourself out there, and the person shuts you down, and they're kind of derogatory about it, or dismissive, I want you to say, next, and go find another person at that party. Same party. Don't let their issues, this is about them. This moment at this party where you come up to them, I'm seeing, for the girls who are listening, I am seeing you like just walking up to a guy full of your goddess energy. You are just like, and I mean, it's hard not to notice you. and you strike up conversation, you're talking to this person, you are exuding it, you're waiting for that reciprocal energy. It's not coming, but you're patient because this person is cute. And let's try a couple other hair tosses or moves or whatever. And then they shut you down. They do the rude excuse me. Oh, if you'll excuse me, I need to go water my plants. Excuse me, I see someone I need to talk to. Oh, it was very nice meeting you, but excuse me, I need to go be anywhere else. They kind of they brush you off in a way that feels, it's hard not to be hurt, especially when you are in it. You can't see my upper body, but I got a shimmy going, and you're just you're feeling it. And then somebody shuts you down because of this trauma that is in the past, but it comes back. That's the scary thing about trauma, is it's insidious. It starts creeping back in. It's like black ooze. You think you've gotten it uncorralled, and then it gets underneath the corral, and you don't, and then all it takes is one asshat at a party to just spurn your advances. And instead of being well, okay, but that didn't work. All right, who else looks cute? Instead of doing that, you internalize the rejection, and then you start telling yourself this story. And that's not your story. Don't let your year end like this. Let your 2023 end with you New Year's Eve having the best sex of your life. Eros, I thought that was supposed to be Pan who said stuff like that. No, honey. Mm-mm. Yeah. So, yeah, don't let it come back in. Okay? Don't let this be you. The thing about card readings is these are the energies, these are the patterns. This is where I see you are, where you're going, where you've been. But the future is never set in stone. And so it's by going to readers or listening to readings and really being thoughtful about it and paying attention to the patterns and the signs that then show up in your life that it helps you to change the outcome. When the outcome of a reading is bad, that does not mean that has to happen. What that means is that if you let it happen, it will. But you also don't have to let it happen. The Knight of Wands. Yep. Yeah. It's going to be such a good year for you. So happy for number threes. Really. There's more than one love in 2023 for you. And by love, I mean lover, but I mean it in the sense that these are not just hookups. This is a series of interactions that are fulfilling for both parties involved. They're fulfilling for all parties involved. And they're really good. They're so good. And it's about letting yourself have that. And there's going to be one person that comes into your life, one of these relationships. I want to say it's the first of several. And this person is younger than you are in a safe, not creepy kind of way. And their sensibilities about sexuality and physicality are a little more overt than you're used to. And they're going to help lead you out of the kind of down period and and into this kind of cornucopia of good times that you're going to have. And I want you to remember that person. Remember how beautiful and pure it was when they helped you to unlock yourself again, when they helped you to open up yourself sexually. That person, remember them. Remember how beautiful that was when asshat over here, the person who shuts you down in such a way that it makes you feel dirty and shameful and gross. Remember this person. Remember the first person that woke you back up. Remember how beautiful that was, how fun that was, how freeing it was. And remember that A, this person's always up for a call. And B, like I actually could see this happening and then you calling this person up or texting him as the case may be, texting them and being like, what you doing? Yeah, I know it's been a few months. How's it going? What you doing? What you up to? Really hot out, isn't it? Because that might be the thing that helps you to get it all back in line. That helps just take that out of the equation, you know? That reaffirms for you that this is good. This is all good. That person's just a jackass. So you might even want to do that, but it's either them or it's another person who helps you, reminds you that you're not a gross person. You're not a superficial, needy, gross person. That you're a person who leads with passion, with sexuality, with physicality, and that you're exploring that, and it's okay to explore that. It's very okay to explore that. The Emperor. I think the first step to the Group 3 Sexual Reawakening of 2023, I think the first steps are about mastering oneself. Don't necessarily want to spell it out, but I mean, if you're on your own, but you're feeling frisky, you know what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm throwing down? And I think that going there with intention, with curiosity, I think that is how, if you're trying to figure out how do I get from here where it's dead Jim, ain't nothing going on, I can't even imagine a world in which I am walking up to somebody at a summer party feeling like a god or a goddess and making advances to someone. Like, Melissa, that's not me. You're reading me wrong. I clearly do not belong in pile number 3. I should have picked pile anything else. Consider being open to starting by mastering your own sexuality on your own. And finding, I was just gonna yoga by Adrian. Find what feels good, but seriously, find what feels good. Figure out what it all means to you. What do you like? What do you want? Explore that. Explore that on your own. And then you're ready to step into 2023, into the spring of 2023, when people's minds start to wander to these things. You are primed and ready, so to speak, to go there and really enjoy it. Now for my queer friends. Let's see. Wow, this is so awkward. In a good way. Okay. The 8 of Wands again. For my queer friends. For my queer friends out there who have had bad experiences, this reading feels like really like no to you. This feels like, nope, no, not interested. And the same thing that I said, I'm going to say it again. This was younger you. And where I'm going with all of that is to say that the trauma and confusion and hardship that physical relations and relationships meant for you when you are younger does not apply to you anymore. You are older now. You are more in touch with yourself, whether you realize it or not, and it's okay. Okay? It's not going to happen again. Okay? It's the same message. Interesting. The Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles. So this is for my queer folks here. One word of caution is, and I think this is good advice for anyone, not even people in pile 3, but is to just be careful when choosing the people to have these fun, brief kind of flings with. Be careful not to get into a fling with someone who is financially more quote unquote powerful than you are. There's a funky power dynamic. There's someone you're going to meet mid-year. So this would be before the summer party, but like mid-year-ish, maybe spring-ish, maybe late spring-ish. No. Wait. I don't know. I just get mid-year. I'm not getting anything else. Just be careful of a person who kind of seems to fit the bill in a lot of ways of what you're looking for and what you're hoping for. And it looks like this would work out really well. There's a financial imbalance there where they are significantly more well off than you are. And that ends up, although things are fun at first, things get weird. There's something a little bit weird about that. And I don't weird. I don't know. I don't mean weird. Okay, I mean weird. Weird is the word. There's something a little off about the person who has a lot of money. And the thing is that it might seem like a really fun thing, because I think that this is like somebody who could be like, oh, let's go on a weekend away, or, fun dinners, or like concert tickets. That what happens is that the financial imbalance does lead to, they feel dominant in the relationship. And that's a position that they like to be in. And once they've established their dominance, then they turn. So just be careful. I mean, it's nice to meet a handsome prince, princess, or ruler who, has a lot of money. And that can be fun. But if you're in pile 3, let's just avoid that this year. Because that person, it's the kind of thing where you get into this and it looks like so good on paper and it feels really good in the bedroom. But then once you're in it, then they start to show their true colors. And then it gets really icky and hurtful. And again, we want to avoid anything that brings your mind and your soul back to the sexual traumas of your younger life. And this power dynamic that comes in with this person is going to activate that the same way that the person shooting down someone else at a party brings it back. So just be careful. Be careful, my queer folks, about the person. Again, like I said, with pentacles, I always get people with dark hair. So I might be wrong, but I'm feeling like a dark person who's like, tall, dark, and handsome. But no, dark and mysterious and very earthy. And they've got like a really good vibe, like just a very sensuous, like luxuriousness about them. And it seems, and they seem like they seem like the other people that you've had fun with, you know? You're getting that. And unfortunately, they're like a crocodile hiding under the water. And then as soon as you're like floating and lounging and loving it, and all of a sudden then chomp. So be careful of that. The Ace of Wands. So there is, for my queer folks, your person is going to be in the fun this year. So for most of the folks in pile 3, I feel like it's a year of fun and games, of leading with passion and sexuality and physicality, and it's fun. And it's a good year as long as you keep the perspective and you don't let yourself get drawn back into early sexual trauma. As long as you manage that, it's gonna be a fun year. But for my queer friends in pile number 3, one of the people in the fun is your person. But here's the part that's kind of interesting. You don't know it. You don't know it. So this relationship runs its course in terms of this kind of a relationship, but then that person stays in your orbit, kind of in your world, in your energy. And when you are both ready in the future, when you are both ready, that's your person. So you're going to meet your person this year. But it might not turn into that relationship. I think that relationship happens. It's fun. It ends amicably. And it's only after you're away from each other for a while, you've moved on to other people, other things, but you still have common connections. And then that relationship reveals itself to be something else. So have fun. Have fun, pile number 3. Pile number 4. You ready? You ready, pile number 4? This is our oracle card for our last pile. Pile number 4, last but not least. Oh, how cute. Look at that. Oh, that is adorable. Your first step towards release of pain is understanding that your error came from forgetting your truth. You are loved unconditionally. Pile number 4. You are my walking wounded. You keep getting your heart broken. And you've been getting your heart broken your whole life. You are the baby clinging to the stuffed bunny rabbit for love, for comfort. You guys are hurting. So let's see if we can get you out of this. Now, your first step towards release of pain is understanding that your error came from forgetting your truth. The truth is you are loved unconditionally. So I do a lot of work and on my mental health channel, I talk a lot about trauma, and, you know, trauma messes you up, obviously. But the biggest thing that trauma does to you, and what it's done for you folks in pile number 4, is that it has made you think that you're just unlovable. It's not them, it's you. And you keep thinking that you are the problem. But God and the universe, they love you unconditionally. You are loved already. You have been, you always will be, you are now. You are loved, and you are worthy of being loved, and you don't think you are. You just don't think it's going to happen for you. You want it. You want it because you do need healing. You need a healing relationship that is going to help you feel that, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I am worthy to accept this. Now, I like to be careful because I don't think that people should enter into relationships with the goal of healing yourself. But I do think that people come along into our lives. And sometimes we have relationships of a romantic nature because that relationship is going to heal us. So, for instance, my late husband, that relationship was always going to, that was his path that he was on. That was his journey. And he was, he was only here for as long as he was going to be here. But that relationship between the two of us healed him of trauma that he had carried through every relationship, and healed me of quite a bit of trauma that I had carried with me into every relationship. And so it is possible to heal yourself as part of a romantic relationship. But I just want to be careful not to have that interpreted as it's okay to find someone else who's going to heal you. Healing always starts with us, but it can happen in a safe relationship. And when you find that safe relationship, then there can be healing, and then you can heal each other. But it's a special kind of relationship because it does require incredible vulnerability, incredible trust. And that's unique. That's unique to come by. So let's take a look. Temperance. So my pile 4 people. So I'm getting there's a lot of people in pile 4 who are working on sobriety or are sober curious, and you're like, wow, you're taking that card really literally. In this case, I am. Sometimes it means something completely different. But I think you come to this reading in a place where you are really struggling for your sobriety. And this could be literal sobriety, as in you are sober from substance abuse or use, or you are, maybe there was like a sexual addiction, although I don't really get that for most of you. But you're coming to this reading in a place where you're really trying to hold this together. It is so hard to be sober during the holidays. I mean, my gosh, those other people, man, those other people who can just go get drunk at the company Christmas party, and that does not start a whole avalanche of shit in their lives. Gosh, sometimes you just, damn it, you envy them. But some folks can't do that. Some folks just can't. My late husband was a recovering alcoholic and addict, and he spent a lot of time in Al-Anon and going with him to AA meetings when there were no Al-Anon meetings. And so I feel in tune with this kind of energy. And so I feel like you're really struggling as you come to this reading. And at the same time that you're kind of trying to keep it together sobriety-wise, you also feel so alone. And I think that your substance abuse, your addictive behavior, whatever that is, let's call it addictive behavior. Your addictive behavior, for me, my problem is I have binge eating disorder. And I just admitted that to myself in the world about 6 months ago. And I'm 55 years old, okay? And it's hard. It's so hard. It's so, you're trying to keep it together. And, you're hurt. And so how am I supposed to do this? And I don't want to be alone. I don't want to do it alone, but I'm not sure that the way I am, that I am lovable. This is what you're saying to yourself. I don't know that I'm in the right place for a relationship in my life right now, but I don't want to be alone. I'm watching a 2023 love prediction tarot card reading on YouTube because I don't really want to be alone anymore. But I don't know if maybe I'm just not cut out for relationships. Maybe I'm just not in a place where I can be a good partner. You're feeling very broken right now. And I want you to know that this is just a season in your life. This time of gutting it out, of white knuckling your sobriety. It's not forever. It's not forever. There will be times in your life when it's as effortless as breathing. When sobriety is who you are. There will be times like that. There will be other times where, again, you'll be white knuckling it. And so I think as you're going into 2023, I think my pile number 4, folks, the first step for you is to, get a little more solid in your sobriety, okay? Because if you go out there, the walking wounded right now, if you go out to a New Year's Eve party, pile number 4, if you're planning to go to a New Year's Eve party, don't go. It's going to be so much harder than you think it's going to be. And you already are dreading it a little bit. But it's going to be rough. So pile number 4, New Year's Eve parties out, probably not a good idea. Small gathering of people that you're close with, somebody's house, somebody's apartment, good. Going out somewhere, especially somewhere where you're likely to come in contact with people you don't know, don't do that on New Year's Eve, pile number 4. You're not ready. You are not ready for that. There's my friend. There you are. The walking wounded. Wounded by love. Over and over and over again. And the common denominator in every single failed relationship and relationship attempt, it's yourself. And that's what you're telling yourself. You're also telling yourself that your failures romantically are because of your lack of sobriety. Now, while that may be true to an extent, you need to understand that while you are the common denominator in all of your failed relationships, you are not the only denominator in failed relationships. There were other people there too. You didn't screw up alone. You didn't fuck up the relationship by yourself. It takes 2 to tango, okay? So it was you, but it wasn't just you. And yes, you do need to get your shit together. Absolutely. Absolutely. But under no circumstances do I want you to believe that you are not lovable exactly the way you are, for who you are. Exactly as you sit in front of your phone or your tablet or your laptop or your TV or whatever you are listening to my voice on right now, you are lovable right now, and you are loved. God, the universe, guides, angels, whatever you believe in, Gaia, star stuff, stuffed bunny, loves you. Because you are a being of love. We all are. Love is the thing that animates us. Love of all kinds. But you are lovable. You are worthy of love. Exactly as you are sitting here right now. It's not when you're secure in your sobriety that you are worthy to be loved. It's right now while you're white knuckling it. Just trying to take it 1 minute at a time. You are worthy of love right now. You're watching this and you have fallen off the wagon. You are worthy of love right now. Right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Not only are you worthy right now, but you are loved right now. There are a bunch of people watching this video who love you. Well, how the heck is that possible? Because there are a bunch of people who are true seekers who are watching this video, and those people know that we are all connected, that we all are star stuff, and that we're all attached to each other, and that they love that. They love that energy that is in all of us, and therefore they love you. Isn't that interesting how that worked out? So don't focus too much on this, but also understand that wounds take time to heal. You are in a situation where you are both trying to heal from having your heart broken multiple times in multiple ways. I feel like for number 4, it's not just romantic relationships. It's familial relationships. Your relationships of the people around you who are supposed to be the people who love me. That's what you're saying. That's you right now. These are the people who are supposed to love me. How can they treat me like this? So I'm getting that's family and friends. It's the people who are supposed to love me. Why? And then you say to yourself, well, it's because I'm a screw up in some way. Okay? I have an addiction problem. That's why they don't love me. No, that is not why they don't love you. There's been many people in my life that I love dearly who are also addicts. I don't stop loving them because they're an addict. That has never happened. Never happened. Can you be disappointed in someone? Can you, as a person who is not that person, even if you yourself are an addict, sometimes you need to cut the other addicts out of your life. Yes, that does happen. And there may be people in your life who have had to put some distance between themselves and you, and that may have broken your heart. But understand that it doesn't mean that they stopped loving you. It just means that they needed to put some distance between themselves and you for themselves. Okay? And they're hurting because they love you and they had to do that. Okay? So it's not just about you, but you're just I feel like my 4s, you guys are just in a really precarious place as we go through the new year. Into January, February. I think, the dark days of winter are always really hard when it comes to addiction, at least for me. And I think, it's a rough time. So I think the early part of the year, you're still very much feeling your childhood infant self who is hurting and who's clutching the bunny, who doesn't really feel that unconditional love. And so I think your assignment for the beginning, for starting right now and for moving into the year, your assignment is to find that place where you can find that unconditional love. And that might mean really diving into therapy, support groups, really working on yourself, working on your sobriety, or working on improving whatever this is for you in pile number 4 that makes you feel like a screw up. Whatever that is, I think some people in pile number 4 are having trouble finding the right career path. And so you've done a bunch of different things, and then people around you get disappointed in you because you don't stick with anything. And that in itself is a kind of addictive behavior, the constantly seeking for, if I just find the right job, the right gig, then everything's going to come together. And, I think that's also something that could be happening for the folks in pile number 4. And so you're in this place where you just really need to get grounded and centered and find that unconditional love. And for some of you, you might find that in a religious setting. So I know some people might find that strange. It's a tarot card reading, but there might be a church or a church group or a faith-based group or a faith-based tradition that helps you to get back in touch with the core of yourself that is both loved unconditionally and loves unconditionally. And I think you're kind of lost with that right now. That's kind of out of balance. And so you're having trouble giving unconditional love. And so believing that you could receive unconditional love is nearly impossible for you. And so I think, really working on that, really doing the work around it is going to be really, really beneficial for you, not just romantically, but romance and your future partner or partners doesn't happen for you unless you do the healing. I love her so much. The 9 of Pentacles. So here's your future right here. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? She doesn't look like she has a care in the world, does she? Nope. She's in a good place. Oh, the 9 of Pentacles. I love her. I love her. She's one, if I were ever to get tarot, there are a couple of tarot cards that I would want to get tattooed on me. This is one of them. So the good news is, as much as you are white knuckling it into New Year's Eve 2022 into 2023, I want you to document the heck out of that in a journal or something and then read it on New Year's Eve 2023 going into 2024. Because as you are going into 2024, you're going in with ease, with comfort, with bounty, with peace and grace, and the grace that is unconditional love. That you will heal that part of yourself this year, and that when you do, you will find that inside of yourself, this whole time, there has been this amazing bounty of love, of wisdom. You're going to be dropping like wisdom bombs on your friends left and right by the time you get into the new year of next year. And the funny thing is it's been there all along. You just didn't realize it. Because you've been you all along. You've been that same soul. There's just a lot of stuff mucking it up. There's a lot of trauma from birth for you. Pain all through childhood for my folks in pile number 4. Just hurts piled upon hurts. And it feels like that can never end. But if you find that thing, that philosophy, that faith, that cosmology, that indefinable kind of sort of spiritual like thing that helps you to get in touch with the unconditional love. In the Catholic Church, I know they called it agape. It's just this love that comes from God and the universe. Once you really feel that transforms you. And then you find out that, it's kind of like the ugly duckling who becomes a swan. Well, guess what? The swan was always in there. You always were the swan. And you're going to get there, but it's going to be rocky to get there. Because to get to the level of peace and just this really good, rich, like grounded person to go from here to here, it takes a lot of work for you. But it's possible. That's what I want you to just understand, is it's possible. You're like, what does this have to do with my romantic life, Melissa? What it has to do with is that the person cannot enter in because there's no in for them over here. The in is over here. And so when you do the work to get yourself to accept love, then love can find you. You see, this is how I see you spending a good part of the year. You're like, well, that sucks. He doesn't look like he's having fun. But I think he is. I think he's finding the gold, the goodness, the bounty, the wealth inside himself. It's a year of self-exploration for him. It's a year of finding strength. And you know what's sexier than strength? That deep, self-possessed strength and confidence that lets you reach down and close the lion's mouth. You know what's sexier than that? Nothing. A person who is that whole with themselves is irresistible. And you will be irresistible. It's just, you gotta get through all of the ups and downs. There's gonna be some more bounces and speed bumps and just potholes in the road. But with each one, with your dedication to yourself, with starting the unconditional love, with unconditionally loving yourself, as each one of those little waves of self-love come along, you become more attractive. Your energy becomes something that another person would want to link up with. And you are going to get there. And the you that goes into from 2023 into 2024 is almost unrecognizable from the you that is watching this reading right now. Unrecognizable in terms of your energy. It just smooths out. It gets like smooth chocolate. It is just yummy by the end of the year. In the beginning of the year, I'm getting a lot of like sharp flavors, like spice, and then like some down notes, and it's kind of all over the place. It's kind of like a goulash of emotion. And then as we start getting into the latter part of 2023, there's that moment when the soup becomes soup. You know, like the old game, is it soup yet? No, not yet. Yeah, you're gonna become soup. Really good soup. The kind of soup that everybody's like, oh, that's some good soup right there. It's coming. It's coming. And when you become that person, then your person just kind of comes in. It's almost like they sneak up on you. Because you are in such a like steady place that you don't even feel the ripple in the stream when they dive in, and then they're there, and you're just like, hey you, and they're like, hey you. Like Joey Tribbiani, how you doing? That's kind of what's going to happen. And it's going to be so yummy and warm, and you're going to be thinking to yourself, much like I think when I am grateful for my husband, I never thought this was possible for me. And thank God it is, because it's beautiful and it is coming for you. It really, really is. It's a bit of work to get there. Now, it's our last pile. So for my queer folks in pile 4, but also some of this does apply. I mean, I wouldn't leave it if you're not queer. I would hang out just in case, you know, because the way these things work is whatever I say that works for you, go with it. Go with it. If you get too excited about it, it's probably not for you. If you feel peaceful, warm, and yummy about it, it's for you. And if it pisses you off, it's definitely for you. So that's how I feel that things work. So here we go. Here's our 3 cards. The 6 of Swords. So I feel like you've got a group of people around you right now, people that you're hanging with, who are not necessarily good for both whatever type of sobriety you are working on. I think that they're not the best for that. They are very supportive of you, though. But I think what's going on here is that I think that you have a group that you kind of, like people you run with right now, and they're okay, but they're not ideal for the person that you're becoming. And so if as the year goes by, either you start to drift away from them or they start to drift away from you, don't panic. It's okay and it's natural. It's a natural flow of relationships, and these relationships will not be the ones that you won't be vibing with them. They won't be vibing with you, but it's okay. I don't see anything acrimonious happening, but I do see some other kind of, and it may be from whatever you start doing in terms of personal development, personal growth, self-help, faith, whatever it is you decide to do. I think you may find new people that you're kind of vibing with from that perspective. And so that is kind of how the natural progression to a new group of people happens for you. Le Soleil. Oh, look at how beautiful you are. Look at how beautiful you are. This is who you are right now. Right now. Right now, my love. This is you. Really. You are already the sun. You just need to let the clouds part. Interesting thing. The sun is always there. It's just, planetary rotation. We're a little off our axis here on the planet, but the sun is always there. And it's always been in you. It's always in all of us. We are all beings of light. And you shine so beautifully. And I got to tell you something. Your friends over here, they've already been trying to tell you that. Your friends, and I'm saying this is specifically for my queer folks in pile 4, and I do think that's kind of accurate here, that I feel like you guys have a friend group. By guys, I mean people. You have a friend group around you that has already been trying to tell you a lot of this stuff. You are worthy. We love you. You're awesome. Why do you think you're garbage? Who put you in the garbage can? Why are you like that? And sometimes it's a little annoying to you, but you're also like, I love you guys. You're such dorks, but thank you, Because when you do get glimmers of this unconditional love, it's from these folks. They're the people who have always accepted and loved you. 10 of Cups. Happy, happy. Happy, happy. It really is. You start to shine, and because of that, because you remember your truth, you are loved unconditionally. When you find that, relocate it within yourself, then there is happiness. There's partnership. There's starting a relationship, starting a family. And like most families, it starts with pets. But it happens for you. It's coming. But you're becoming. And so be patient with yourself as you become the sun that you actually already are. Sometimes it's a process of scraping off layers of gunk and ew off of ourselves and off of our souls. And then when we do that, we uncover this bright shining light that has always been us. But the thing is that God, the universe, energy has always known that you're the sun. And it has always seen your light, and it has always loved you. And so many people around you have been able to see through the gunk, and they know you're the sun. They already know that. It's just you. You need to realize that. And so I think even though these people, maybe your relationship with them becomes a little less that you're all together all the time. I don't feel them going away all the way, but I feel like new people come into your life as the year goes on, and it's part of your personal self-exploration and self-actualization that you meet other people that are more on that path, maybe a little bit further along on that path, and that maybe in when you are in a really good place, in that milieu of people, in that kind of orbit that you're in, that's where your person is. And they're a person who's been on the same kind of a journey that you've been on. But they've figured out that they're the sun a little bit before you do. But they understand the baggage that you continue to carry, because we all carry our baggage. We keep putting it down, pick it back up, put it down, pick it back up, put it down, pick it back up. I mean, that's the human condition, unfortunately. We have moments of perfect clarity, and then the clouds come back and we forget who we are. But they understand that. They understand the pain and the trauma of the past. They share some of that. So you are able to openly share yourself and shine your light, even you know, in the places where maybe it's a little broken or whatever, staticky, I don't know, but they get it. They get it, and they're there, and they are ready to love you unconditionally, because they already do. And I think it's going to be really, really good. It's just, I know you're in a rough place. And I just want you to remember that you are a being of light, and you are loved. You really are. You are this adorable little kid with the bunny rabbit. I mean, come on. We love you. And you are worthy of absolute unconditional love. Always. And there's, I don't know if the thing is picking up that siren, but I do believe Santa Claus is coming to town in my neighborhood right now. So this is a perfect place to end the reading. So I thank you all so much. Please share with me in the comments if I was making sense, if I said anything that where you're like, oh my God, yes. If you know, you were like, hello, I was in pile one and none of that made any sense to me. Also, please let me know that, because I am new to doing readings on YouTube, and, you know, I need to know if I'm calibrating correctly. And, you know, if the way that I'm going about this is, I mean, it feels good. I mean, stuff is coming. And so when the stuff comes out, then I know I figure I'm on the money, you know? I figure I've got it going on. But just in case, I also want to know when I'm not. That's important too. And I thank you all so much for watching. If this reading was helpful to you, please subscribe, because this is a brand new channel for me. I've been on YouTube for about a little over a decade. But I've been doing completely different kinds of stuff. And so this is a new, exciting adventure for me that I feel really drawn to do. And this is just, I feel so good. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you have subscribed, or you do subscribe, thank you so much. And I will see you again really soon with another reading. We're gonna do some specific readings about finances. I want to talk about career and things like that as well, because we are going into the new year and we all have a lot of questions about those things. Until then, thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Bye.